Hi Earthlings. Okay, so I'm excited. It's very, very hot here in my land, but I want to share with you something that I've learned about the Pluto Sun conjunction and our time in the zodiacal house of Aquarius. So on the 21st of January, we've got a really special thing. The Sun and Pluto are going to be at the 0 point of the zodiacal house of Aquarius, and this is quite a rare thing. So they're crossing from the house of Capricorn into the 0 point of the house of Aquarius at the same time. It is not a cazimi because Pluto is very far from our Sun. It's an outer planet, so it can't cazimi with the Sun, but it is definitely a conjunction, and it's extremely rare. We're lucky people. So just for one day, you should notice something poignant, something really important about what you need. Okay, so what we got now. So this is how I've written it down. By now, we've all had our emotional shocks. People, places, and things forcefully removed from our life, and the cataclysmic change that produces our soul's evolutionary expansion. Shocks force us to make soul-wrenching psychological adjustments, and from that experience, we are now forming a relationship with something we need. Soul needs, heart desires, ego wants. This need will help us transform beyond the old limitations into the limitation, of course, is your fears, into new levels of awareness and self-definition. Yes, there will be atmospheric pressures, but the next 20 years won't be cataclysmic. It will be the evolution for our soul. We have an awareness of new capacities and a capability that has been dormant within us becomes an impulsive idea or a thought or a desire. So we begin actualizing and developing our new capability, and this creates the evolutionary growth effects. So Pluto has already come into the zodiacal house of Aquarius and gone back into the zodiacal house of Capricorn, and when it was sitting there for that last degree for that last time in the cycle of 148 years, I think it is. Oh no, 248. So when it was sitting there at that last point, something sort of just clicked, and we were like, oh my gosh, I can do this. And like I've been telling everyone, it's about our business. It's this year of the dragon is all about our business, and it's all about the climb. And why I say that is because there are 2 full moons in the zodiacal house of Capricorn this year. That was my signal, because that is the outpouring. So now this capability that's been lying dormant, we would have already tried it. Maybe we did it when we were a kid. Maybe it's just something we've loved and looked at for so long and just wish we could, but we just didn't have the time or the money or whatever it was. This is the time. We've come to that point. Okay. Now, for the next 20 years, Pluto will help us understand why we have chosen certain environments, relationships, or situations, and what we needed to learn. Now that is about our past, but I do want to tell you that we have turned the page, and the past, that chapter, is over. The evolutionary force of our soul induces pressure, and this pressure is to create new patterns, new behavioral patterns that regenerate. The soul is all about regeneration. So Pluto's ultimate goal is to connect our soul to source energy. Pluto is the guardian of our soul. Now, I looked at I looked at air pressure because Aquarius is fixed air sign, and so that's all about air pressure, right? Now, pressure on our realm of paradise varies with altitude. Therefore, air pressure on the top of a mountain is not as dense as it is at sea level. As altitude increases, atmospheric pressure decreases, but air temperature and humidity affect atmospheric pressure. When we study weather and climate, atmospheric pressure shows a cycle of atmospheric tides that occur twice daily. I find that really fascinating, and I'm going to study that a bit more. Right, now we all live on Earth in the troposphere. That is 12 kilometers, the troposphere, and or 40,000 feet. The troposphere is where the turbulent flow of air is. We have dry air, which is nitrogen, oxygen, argon, and carbon dioxide. And we have moist air, which is water vapor rising from bodies of water, the oceans, the lakes, the rivers, and vegetation, which humidify our atmosphere via evaporation and transpiration or precipitation. The compression or expansion of air is caused by heat exchanged from our sun, thermal conduction, thermal radiation, and natural convection. Hot air expands as it rises, and this pushes the air around it. When it gets high, it reaches the dew point and it cools, and water condenses into clouds. That's a very interesting story. I got that straight from the internet, and now I'd like to tell you a story about something very magical that I got to witness with my own eyes many years ago. So I was staying at the beach, right at the beach, in this small bay. It was like a horseshoe, had the hills on each side. Well, it had the hills here, small patch of hills here, a little gap, and then a small island that looked like a dragon. It was really, really cool. And I got up early one morning before the sunrise, and I was walking along the sandy part of the beach. Well, it's actually big trees there and stuff as well. It's in New Zealand, it's in the South Island. And I was walking along, and it was just like full of mist and fog, quite high, about like up to here on me, and it felt literally magical. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. I've never seen this before. Now the sun started rising in the east from the sea. I saw it rising on the horizon, and as it was rising, the mist started to lift, and the mist lifted, I've got photographs as well, into small clouds. I say small like this, but they were obviously big, but they were small clouds. And those clouds lifted and went to the top, rose up like this, and went to the top of the hills and sat there for a little bit, and then rose up into the air. And some of the clouds joined and became like a bigger cloud, and some of the other clouds rose higher and dissipated and disappeared into the atmosphere. And honestly, it was the most magical experience that I've ever seen on the beach early in the morning, and one that I'll remember forever. And luckily I had my camera and I was able to photograph it as well. And like I'm telling you, the clouds were sort of like at my feet as they rose. It was really magical. Okay, so aside from that little adventure, what I would like everyone who is going to evolutionize their soul over this 20-year period is to go to your birth chart and look where Pluto was when you were born, because Pluto is called a generational planet. So we are all slotted into generations based upon the cycle of Pluto as it goes through each different zodiacal house. So in my mother's generation, they were the boomers. In my generation, I'm Generation X, and so forth, and on we go. So look at that, try and research about what it means in your generation, Pluto, and then implement that into what Pluto's pressure is about the need that your soul has in this 20-year cycle. Like I said, we're starting off, it's business, okay? It's mind your business and climb, do the climb, because this is the year that you can solidify your ascension, as in here on earth, not talking about when you're a spirit and you've already left this realm, just talking about your earthly ascending position. Because when we get to the top of Capricorn, that's the plateau. When we get to the top, that's where we build our castle, that's where we build our fort, that's where we build our fortress. That's our, the safe haven. So what we're doing this year of the dragon is we're creating our safe haven from the very plateau that we're climbing. When we get to the top of this plateau, we're going to start building, okay? And this is a well, it's amazing what's going to happen this year, 2024, year of the dragon, but it's just the start. So the year of the snake is going to be pretty incredible too. And but let's get the dragon one, and it's all about our creative power. So create. Doesn't matter if you fail. If you fail, try again. Like, let's say, I'll give you a really cool example. I'm a painter decorator by trade, and then when I did my apprenticeship, the paints were oil-based, and water-based paints were pretty trashy. They were real plasticky. But now everyone uses water-based paint, and everyone wants water-based, and it doesn't smell and things like this. Now, when I first got back into my trade, I couldn't use the water-based gloss in the same way as I used the oil-based gloss. And I was like, what is this? What's going on here? Because I was trying to lay the paint in the same way and do exactly the same techniques to make a glass finish with the oil-based enamels as as I was taught. Anyway, it took probably about maybe like 5, 6, 7 fails at trying to get a lush finish fully across a sill before I figured out the technique. I had to fail, try a method, no, it wasn't it, I couldn't understand it. But anyway, in the end, I worked it out, and because the drying time of the water-based paint is super fast in comparison to the drying time of an enamel. So I finally, it just all clicked. I used to sit and think about it. It's like, what is it that I'm missing? What is it about? I tried to read what's all the chemicals that are in the paint. I tried to figure it out so many different ways, and then finally it just sort of bing, it just clicked, and I tried it, and I was like, hello, I found the answer. So never ever let your failures defeat you. They are a learning tool for you to learn and overpass, to succeed, for you to succeed. Speaking from experience, I'm telling you, it's worth it. Now, good luck to everyone this year. And remember dam. Remember reservoir of water. Now, the dam creates the reservoir of water. We're not the reservoir of water yet. We're creating the dam that is going to become the reservoir of water. And the dam is created on a river. So the river is called the current. Let's look at it like that. And we're going to create our dam. So we build. This is this year, guys. Build. And we keep on building all this year long. Best of luck to everyone. Ka kite.